Welcome back. Joining us again is counseling psychologist Ashley Cater, who is here to help us explore the transformative power of self-reflection and how looking inward can unlock your true potential and set you on the path to empowerment. Ashley, welcome back.
Hi, thank you for having me again.
Queen, you know, I would like to call you the Rain Queen. And funny enough, my second name is Pulani, which means rain, unomvula, bringing the blessings. And with rain comes growth, comes greenery, and that's what this conversation is all about.
I think it's perfectly reflected.
Now, when we do dig deep, you know, you call them mirror moments, but essentially, we're just talking about self-reflection and being able to look inward. Why is that so important for each and every one of us to practice?
Sure, I think self-reflection is really about creating self-awareness about your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions. I want to ask you a question.
Hey.
If you are going to an event and you would like to be dressed to the nines, you go to your closet, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you were to go to your closet and close your eyes, how are you going to find your best outfit?
It's impossible. I'll come out looking like a Halloween queen.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure you'll still look great, but maybe not exactly what you had in your mind, right? So when we're thinking about personal growth and really being our best selves, it's about opening the closet and looking at it holistically. What is there that I like? What is there that's very much out of fashion and doesn't fit me anymore? But also, what is there that I maybe want to buy and purchase in order to have that best outfit? And that's really why self-reflection is so important.
I love that analogy. And in our relationship, we always say, before you point a finger, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. So in a conversation, in an engagement, why is it so easy to highlight another one's faults and not be able to pick up on your contribution? Why is it so difficult for us to kind of look deeper, and how then are we able to kind of counteract that?
Sure. I mean, no one wants to really accept something difficult about themselves, especially because it creates some discomfort. And often what happens when we're feeling emotional discomfort is our defense mechanisms kick in. Denial, suppression, blame. Deflecting, gaslighting, you know, all of those things. Because those defense mechanisms are there to help stop short-term discomfort. The problem is that they leave you stuck long-term. I mean, no one wants to believe and see that they are the villain in their story, or that there is parts of themselves that are holding them back. So I think the important thing is when we are recognizing those difficult truths about ourselves is to not judge ourselves, to be curious about where that comes from, and to be curious about how we would like to change that. And I think that becomes very key to making sense of those hard truths.
And you know, practical tips. What are some of those practical tips when you are stuck in a moment that needs self-reflection and a mirror moment? How can we kind of go over ourselves and implement the change?
Sure, I think self-reflection is often hard, so you got to start somewhere. Sometimes it's about starting small with your daily reflection of, how am I feeling today? What is the emotions that I've really been stuck on? What is contributing to that? And once you get into the habit of that, you can start to think bigger around reflecting on, what does your best self look like? Where is it that you want to be? I like to make my reflection kind of match with a habit that I already do. So I like to reflect in the morning when I'm brushing my teeth. A little something like, how am I really feeling today? Where am I at? What are my emotional needs today? So when you put it into a routine, it becomes something that's more of a habit. And then I think it's also important to not just think small, but also think bigger for your life. What is it that you would like to be? Where is it that you would like to be? What is it that you would like to feel? I think another aspect for me is trying to balance out that accountability while also giving yourself grace and being a bit compassionate towards yourself.
Beautiful. You know, when you touched base on that, you have a time of the day when you kind of look within. I have actually picked up with myself that I do it throughout the day. If I've got a shift of emotion or something randomly just feels different, I always ask, okay, wait, whoa, pause. What just happened? What was that about? And for me, I think accountability is also something so pivotal that you've mentioned. Now, if we were to look at our strengths and our weaknesses, and we're trying to unlock that reflection, what is the power in that?
I mean, I think it's everything.
Yeah.
I like to say your strengths are your superpowers and your weaknesses are the things that you can learn from. Actually, I don't like the term weaknesses. I prefer the term points of development. It's giving like a little less punitive, you
Yes.
know?
A little judgy.
A little less judgy. I'll use a perfect Joburg example. If I am trying to go to Sandton City, that is my destination that I want to go to. That's my best self, right? My strengths may be that I have a nice car, I've got petrol,
got a GPS.
I've got a GPS, I've got insurance, I'm an excellent driver. Contrary to what I've seen on social media, apparently South Africans are the worst drivers. But the points of development could be, oh, I have a really bad temper. There's also taxis, there's also potholes, there's traffic. Some of those things that we can control, but not quite control. Now, the route that I take to get to that destination requires me being aware of both of those so that I can get there effectively and in the best way that I know how.
Ashley, I feel like I should pay you a consultation fee. This is pure gold. But you know, when you do self-reflect and you do have those mirror moments, it can bring up some painful moments. It can bring up pain and agony within yourself because it's not easy looking within. How are we able to manage that in a constructive way and make that work for us and kind of not dwell in the pain?
Sure, I think acknowledgement firstly, an acknowledgement without judgment, and naming the feeling. When you name the feeling, it gives it less power. So I'll pick on myself because I love picking on myself. Right now, my inner critic is saying, oh, girl, do the right thing, say the right thing, be articulate, you might fail. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to acknowledge, okay, I feel anxious. Okay, it's making me feel anxious. But then I'm also going to ask myself, what does that feeling tell me about my values and my needs? For me, that anxiety, my first thing to think about is you're anxious because you're not good enough. But actually, what it's telling me is that I value my job. I value connecting with people. I value, speaking about mental health. And when I start to think about it from that perspective, it really shifts the way I feel about the experience from you're not good enough to you're doing your best on something that matters to you.
That is truly powerful. I like it. Name it, see where it's coming from, and then what does it mean? Ashley, siyabonga siswethu. I think a lot of people are struggling with this, and now you've been able to break it down in a way that's not so overwhelming or intimidating, and something that all of us can achieve. Thank you.
No problem.
What an inspiring conversation, showing us how self-reflection can be a powerful tool for growth. Take a moment to look inward. Your best self is waiting to be discovered.